Hey everyone, welcome back to Shaper Speak. When you get involved with CNC, regardless of it being a traditional gantry style or the Shaper origin, you are eventually going to need to upgrade your bits. And navigating the world of end mills and spiral router bits and so on and so forth can be incredibly confusing. So that's what I'm going to be doing for you in today's video. I'm going to be looking at a handful of bits and what you can expect when you use them. For your viewing pleasure, I will be testing a compression bit, a couple of upcut bits, and a handful of downcut bits. So let's chuck them up and see what happens. The first bit that I'm going to be testing out here is what's called a single flute downcut bit, or an O flute downcut bit. Now, single flute bits are going to, as their name entails, have a single cutting edge, and what that's going to result in a downcut bit is all of those chips being forced back down into the material. So that's something to keep into consideration. A downcut bit is going to leave a fairly crisp edge on the top side of your workpiece. And in the case of me basically cutting out stencils here, that's what I'm looking for. The underside of the workpiece is inconsequential. Now, when are these single flute downcut bits appropriate? What types of material? You're going to want to use these on any kind of plastic like an ABS or acrylic or an HDPE. You can get pretty good results with them. Wood products, MDF, plywoods, hardwoods, you're all going to have pretty decent and crisp top edges. They are not suitable, however, for non-ferrous metals, things like aluminum and brass. So I don't have any aluminum or brass lying around. That's a topic for a whole nother video. But what you're going to see here is after I complete the cut, I've got a lot of chips on the work surface, and that's just something that you're going to have to contend with if you choose to use a bit like this. The next bit that I'm testing is an O-flute upcut bit. Now, even though I'm cutting plywood here, I do want to talk about where these bits are best suited, and that's in soft materials like aluminum or brass. There is nothing easier to use and more suitable than a high-grade upcut bit. One flute is going to have the best chip ejection and heat dissipation, which is going to avoid any kind of jamming. So if you're cutting plastic, you want to get those chips out as quickly as possible. That way they don't re-weld. And same thing with soft metals. Now, I was surprised at how nice of a finish I got right off of the machine. Maybe it was because of feed rate or speed or whatnot. But usually with upcut bits on materials like hardwoods and veneered plywood, you're going to get a boogered up edge. And even though I got really good chip ejection, I was kind of surprised at how well the top surface came out on this particular cut. So I don't know if that's just a credit to the bit, but take my words of wisdom for what they are. Upcut bits on veneered plywoods are probably not going to be your best bet. The next bit up is a two-flute upcut, and as the name entails, it sports two cutting edges or teeth, which now means that for every rotation of the bit, two edges are going to be cutting your material. These also get commonly labeled as fishtail or spiral upcut, and these bits act like a traditional drill bit in which the spirals are going to direct the chips upward. The benefit of a two-flute upcut is that you can drive your bit twice as fast in feed than a single flute, although with two flutes now occupying the cutter, the chip ejection is not so great. These cutters are primed for high-efficiency cutting on wood, but do leave a burr on the top of the material and a pretty clean finish on the bottom side. And what you're going to see is I'm going to get a really, really nasty finish on the top side of my material. So where are these types of bits most suitable? Plastics, they're okay. ABS, acrylic, HDPE, they're okay. Wood, MDF, hardwoods, they're pretty good. Plywoods, they are terrible. Do not use these types of bits. They have a tendency to pull up the material as you're cutting, and you got to make sure that your material is properly secured to whatever spoil board you are using. Next on the list is a 2-flute spiral downcut. Now, as I've mentioned before, spiral downcuts have blades which are going to force the chips back down into your material. This has the benefit of providing pretty much the best top finish to any wood type, especially plywood, which you're going to see in this video. If you get 2-flute bits that are high tungsten carbide, these things are going to be your weapon of choice. They're going to be just the bit that you are going to reach for most often. Now, opposite to spiral upcuts, a downcut is going to give you a perfect top finish, but it is going to leave a burr on the bottom side. Therefore, these bits are most effective for engraving and lettering rather than cutting all the way through. Where are these most suitable? Plastics, not so much. Do not use these on plastics. As far as wood is concerned, MDF, hardwood, plywood, softwoods, you will get really good finishes. And a downcut is going to create a lot of dust as opposed to chips, which is going to mean that you're going to need pretty good dust extraction. On the plus side, however, the dust is going to get stuck in that recess and is going to pack in, which can add some extra holding ability. So just keep that in mind. The final bit that we'll be looking at today is a 2-flute compression bit, or an up-down bit. If an upcut gives you a great bottom side finish and a downcut bit gives you a great top side finish, then why not have the best of both worlds with a compression bit? A compression cutter starts with an upcut component, which is usually the length of the diameter, so either 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch, and so on and so forth. And then the remainder of the bit is a downcut profile. So you're going to get the full benefit of this cutter once you plunge beneath the first third-ish of your bit. Compression cutters like to run a bit faster than most of the other cutters that I've looked at. So to get the best finish along the side of your material, you're going to need to crank your speed up to 11. Where are these bits most suitable? Anything wood related. MDF, hardwood, plywood, softwood, all fantastic results. Plastics, not so much. So compression bits are primarily used for slot cutting, but you can still get good profile cuts as long as you go past that upcut component. This is going to give you both a perfect bottom and top finish. So to quickly recap, anything upcut is going to make sure that the bottom side of your cut is going to be as crisp as possible, and anything labeled as downcut is going to give you the best top face. And a compression bit is only as good as how deep you can cut with it. As long as you get past that initial third or so of the bit, you are going to get the best of both worlds. Now, does that mean that a compression bit should be the only bit that you use? No, because depending upon the operation, you may need to have downcut specific bits or upcut specific bits. The best rule of thumb here is to trial and error and always do test cuts before jumping into your final piece. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.